Alright, suppose I'm live. I'm just gonna get right into it, no preface here. This is Minecraft World for my friends and I. It's been up for about a year. Put a lot of work into this thing. You know, it originally started, a couple of college buddies said, let's do a Minecraft server to, do something, stay in touch. Then it's kind of grown from there. I took over the reins of the server about 6 months ago. Invited some of my friends from here at home, and now it's one big thing. It's a fun little place, and I plan for it to be here forever. We here are on the Isle of Storm. Got to keep the meteorology theme here. Like I said, started about a year ago. I started it like any other old Minecraft world, and then at some point I was like, man, I played like this 1,000 times when I was young. Mining, leveling up, going trying to defeat bosses. Gets old. I want this to be something different. So I came back to the island that my friend Andrew was on, which is this island right here, the Isle of Storm. I thought let's build something a little more. Let's actually make something out of this. Those of you who know me know I love urban planning, and so my dream vision, let's make a cool little walkable, dense town, whatever you want to call it. And it all started here on the village square. My idea was to have a central place for us to gather. I mean, what town is complete without some sort of central space square? So this was it. Built a square. You can see these paths, nice little kind of green area, and then a little fountain, and then these buildings around the square. So let's just go ahead and start talking about that. This is maybe my favorite building, even though there's no roof. I forgot to mention, this is an old iteration of the world. This is from January. So this is not what it currently looks like. I will show you, of course, at the end what it currently looks like, but I have a few backup copies saved, and I kind of wanted to go through and see how things have evolved. So, there was nothing before here, but here's the phase where it's the square. This is my inn. What town is complete without an inn? A place for weary travelers to stay and gather and eat. Can't see the name on here, but I eventually named this thing the Planner's Dream. It's quite original, I know. At this phase, it had no roof. It still has no roof. So you can see the build quality of this world. Let's go ahead and check out, by the way, cool little deck that goes all around the whole build. Let's go inside. And here's the room. How sweet. How lovely, ain't it? If you want a drink, come on up here to the bar. Here's your big old bar stools. You want to dance by the fire. Here's a lovely carpet for you to dance by the fire. Jukebox to go with it. Or you want to sit and dine. Maybe you want to sit here, drink some beers. Right? This is a place for everyone. I'll show you the upstairs in a future iteration of this world because it's pretty incomplete in this version. Here's the innkeeper. I go here, and then I go downstairs when the day is over. Down the little secret passage, basement thing, whatever, into my home, held up by two large wooden beams with dirt as the back wall. This is my kind of place, right? Kind of small, rustic, dim-ish lighting. Did I just say that? Although not so much here. And then of course my little loft is my favorite. Got my bed looking out the window. Okay, that's enough about my place. Let's go ahead. We'll just go around the square. By the way, these things I put up initially, you can see the fire poses a fire hazard to this wooden inn. I switched this to redstone lamps later. This here is the general goods store and the nether tower. Incomplete without a roof here. That does change later. General goods store, the main idea was to have a common ground for smelting buckets of lava after, big mining expeditions or whatever. And then a cellar for storing goods. How lovely, ain't it? And then adjacent to it, you know, open door is the Nether Tower with an enchanting room. Come downstairs, you've got yourself the Nether portal, and potions and other storage to go along with it. All right. I'm trying to move this fairly quickly because I could, you know, this video could turn into an hour-long video if I truly went through everything. Right here I had a task board. It's a great way to kind of keep projects going, keep organized in a world like this. Yeah, I mean, mine just seems to keep growing. You'll see my task board is not the same later on, but this is what I had here. I'm not going to go through all that. The map room. One of my big incentives early on was to map out the surrounding area before plotting where the village square would go, right? Those of you who know me know that I love maps. So here was the first iteration of the map room. You can see we are on this isle here next to the ocean, an interior bay with surrounding lands for future development, and you will see that future development later. That's a more zoomed out view, further zoomed out view, and then of course, you know, getting to more continent scale view here. This of course gets further explored, and I will go into that later. I marked interest points because, you know, I'm a map nerd. Downstairs, nothing cool. Upstairs, it's just, you know, my workroom. I don't have much here to show, but this is where the cartographer of the town operates. Okay, and then the train station. Maybe the most epic and polished looking of the builds, because Mr. Andrew himself used a tutorial for this one and not his own brain. We have the train station. Maybe a little bit big for the square, but it looks sick. I love it. And of course houses train connections. We have the J line. I'll show you that one later. We have the Q line, which goes out south. And then we have the C line, which goes to Charlie's Island. So let's go check that out. I may zoom through this, or I may not. Across Charlie's lovely train bridge. I'll have to show you a visual of it later. Yeah, here's Charlie's place. I believe he's trying to make a, you know, some sort of old school rustic factory. I can't wait to see when it's finished, if it ever is finished, because I don't think it's moved beyond the state in like 7 months. But that's okay. Man's got a busy life. Just show you his house because I think it's kind of funny. I mean, how much more jammed in can you get everything, right? Pack all your chests and furnaces into one house. I'll give the man credit for some efficiency. This farm and enchantment table. He has this whole island to himself. He told me he wanted to go like Alcatraz style early on. Perhaps we can see this when we go up here. Yeah, you can see the edge, you know, these little spikes, dripstone spikes, kind of like this walled off island. It's a cool little aesthetic. Let's look at the train bridge from afar. Yeah. Pretty cool looking. Nice little connection across this strait back to the aisle. All right, let's zoom on back. And pop out automatically. I'm not doing anything there. Designed it that way. It's pretty cool. All right, where should we go to next? I'll show you the other train stuff later, and I'll show you the Nether Highway system later. For now, let's jog over this way. It's Andrew's medieval style house. Yet again, tutorial, not his own brain. But hey, it looks really cool. I love that he adds this into the aisle. But I gotta give him some crap. Built this boardwalk. There's this little inland pool north side of the aisle. Thought it'd be kind of cool to have a boardwalk around it. You can journey along the boardwalk. You know, out for a Sunday stroll with your fellow stormers. I don't know if that's what we're calling the village people here, but we are for the sake of this video. If you get up here, you basically got a little high dive. Kind of had in my head, like, you know, people could kind of come hang out here for the day. Maybe set up some pool chairs, some towels right there, right? Even though we are on an island, you could just go to the beach, but whatever. Interior areas are cool too. And you can jump off into a pool. I mean, how fun is that? And if you wanted to do it again, come on over here. Walk up this little staircase. Kind of reminds me of like some areas of Colorado where you can get up behind a waterfall. Get up back to the boardwalk and do it again. I'm gonna go sleep and then come back to this area. Alright, back. Let's keep going. Nothing much more to see here, but I want you to see so that you have a basis of comparison for future iterations of this world. There's a spider. Luckily they don't attack during the day. Here's a view to the north. Big open sea. I planted some mangrove trees here to make it a little more... I don't know. And it's blank here. Remember this area. Let's keep on walking along the boardwalk here. Let's go check out Andrew's original place. Now, I loved this when I first saw this, right? I didn't even know these cherry trees in the game. I hadn't played this game in like 8 years. And then all I see is this beautiful pink house. I'm not going to go inside. It's nothing too amazing inside. But on the outside, it looks amazing. Funny enough, back here, he built a little train station from here, you know, to Village Square. Transportation engineers know that this distance is not right for trains, so we ended up modifying this a little bit later. But just wanted to show early days of railing. I don't know if that's the proper term or not. We've already seen his big, beautiful medieval style house. Let's go ahead and gather one more view here. Well, yeah. You saw it before. I'm not making this video very comprehensive. Here's the backside of the General Goods and the Nether Tower. That's my initial attempts at architecture and exterior design. It's sub-mid. Let's keep going. I requested Andrew build the stables, so he built us stables. You know, we need some horses, right? Another mode of transportation. This is in its infancy. Wow, okay, yeah, we didn't have... Now we have like 10 plus horses on the aisle, but we only had, I think that's my horse. So, you see the stables in its early days of infancy. Of course, over here, we have Addison's lovely house. I mean, oh my gosh, cottage style, vines and botany growing everywhere. Beautiful flower garden and fountain. She's got away with the plants, man. She also built a little animal pen out here. Please have a boat. I'm gonna skip till I find a boat. Found a boat. I'm gonna zoom across this. Okay, we've landed here on the shore. Sheep, cows, I believe we have chickens, and pigs. And they get sand and dirt on their footing. Lovely work. Okay, back on the aisle, I just want to point out a couple other little cool lore things one might appreciate. First, is our little community mine here. I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that used this, but it was fun while it lasted. I ended up moving it somewhere else. But also around here, there are these cool little, I don't know, underground pool areas, and I didn't want them to just go to waste. I'm one with using the surrounding terrain, so it's, you know, you can rent it out for your family. Come swim in the pool, right? So lovely. One other around here. Yeah, it's tucked away right in here. Come in. Get cozy. It's, you know, maybe it's a hot springs. Maybe we make that one day. Alright, now I'm going to go show you the spear. It's the landmass off to the east that our peep Josh colonized. It's right across the Del Rio Andrew here with this incomplete bridge. You'll see the more complete version later. Josh appears to have started working on a botanical garden of sorts. he didn't really finish, and it's still this way to this day. But I really like the idea that he's going for here. He also built a big barn, which I'm like not that surprised by for some reason. Kind of a cool looking barn. His base is down there, and below ground it's nothing cool to marvel at, so we're gonna skip it. Let's take the J line back underground. Skip through the video here, but you know, this tunnel hopefully one day might decorate with like some graffiti and more colorful stuff beyond just stone. And on up and on up. Boom! You're back in Central Station. Okay. Let's go into the nether highway system real quick. You know, this is for your long distance travel, right? Yeah, I'm not gonna go through and show everything. If you want to go to Q's house, another friend, his portal is that way. This is to my wonderful cave, right? Downstairs, you go to the main nether area if you actually want to go to the nether for what it's intended for. Up here, it's probably the coolest showcase, and I'll showcase it even further in the future. Was the first nether highway that I built. You can race a boat down here, go wicked fast. I, of course, also wanted to come up here because, I mean, Andrew left this beautiful graphic in the chest for us. So I had to showcase that. All right. Back to Central Station. And, of course, if you wanted to continue your journeys, you can head south out to the plains. This is the mythical Q line. It has been updated a little bit since, but we're going to go ahead and take a ride. I'm going to speed up the video. Q lives out in the plains to the south. Figured it would be worth making a train bridge. He made a bridge across the bay here. I added some arches. All right, we have arrived at Q's place. Man is a fan of acacia wood, so we've got the acacia train line here. He still hasn't logged on the server, but it's still like this. When he opens his doors, he's going to see 2 crafting tables and a bunch of blocks obstructing his path. That'll be a good joke. He's a good man to prank. Walk around the property a little bit here. We got the enchantment table. You saw the cows earlier. His big old nether portal. I'm not quite sure what that is, but it looks all right. Glowstone lighting up. Here's a little visual of the Hameen Valley. You'll know what that is later on. Blank slate canvas there. Okay, I'm going to quit rambling. There's plenty more to see in the future. I'm trying to keep this short. We will see how successful I am. Okay, before we move on, I want to take a moment to thank the sponsor of today's video. Just kidding, there's no sponsor. In all seriousness, I do want to show you what the Isle looked like before us humans tamed it, colonized it. Yeah, here's the Isle. You know, it was a birch forest. You can kind of see, I don't know if you can make it out from here, but the terrain is a little bit difficult to work with. You got this hill kind of mounting up to the middle. You know, certainly not smooth terrain to work with. In the early days, I kind of thought about maybe relocating to another place because of that. But, I mean, it already sunk in so much time. Thought, you know what? Let's use it as a challenge, man. It's kind of a scenic area. You know, maybe we can kind of go for like a Bay Area, San Francisco type of thing, where you got an island, you got a bay, you've got the ocean out there, you've got some surrounding landmass to work with. And I mean, obviously, we're still working with that. So yeah, I mean, you know, this was untamed land. You spawn over there, lots of forest. You know, you gotta do some deforestation to get what you want, right? The village square is about right. We'll drop in down. Yeah, right here, right? I mean, uneven terrain, big, tall, blocky mountains, hills, kind of sloping down towards the sea. It wasn't easy, but quite satisfying to terraform. That's all. Well, let's move on to the next segment. All right, and let's keep on going here. This version of the world that I'm about to show you is from May of 2025, so about a few months ago as of today's recording. Few key additions is I have a few extra friends on the server now, so of course we've got some more building going on in other areas. Let's get into it. You guys are familiar with the village square here. First thing I want to show you is the new map room. Yes, without a roof. Still in progress as of today. That's going to be a common theme around here. Roofs are like my least favorite thing. The new map room here. I was kind of going for like a little clay, old style building. And then of course, here in the middle, we have the map. Kind of wanted to set it up as like a, people meeting around a table to discuss whatever they want to discuss about the town. And let's go ahead and look here. Here's the aisle. As you guys had just seen from when I was in creative mode, it looks quite different from when we were last looking at it above. You can see the square in the middle here, and then of course all the different paths, buildings being added on. Right, here's the boardwalk up here. Here's some new buildings. Can't wait to show you guys. Charlie's Island over here. He's doing crazy things over there. The Spear is what I'm calling this landmass. Yeah, and the surrounding area as well. No, I don't want to talk anymore about this. Okay, and then also the big map. You can have the small map for the details that I was showing you earlier, but also the large map for continent scale sort of stuff. I also take the time to label key interest points, including caves, because as more and more people join, the underground caves nearby are going to be completely looted out. And so it's nice to have some sort of reference for where to go. I've also, labeled all the key interest points in the oceans. You can see kind of a snowy area I've yet to fully explore up here. That's going to be a place for some future building. We have our woodland mansion out here that we've explored. And out here too is this little point. Remember it for later. It's called Valley Village. It's a really cool area over here. That we might have some building on. But yeah, it's the map room. I am one for kind of smaller spaces, use every nook and cranny, right? We might expand these maps one day. And what's also cool, I'll go ahead and show you, is seeing the previous iterations of this map. This downstairs is not quite so impressive right now, but it does house a lot of history, as much history as 1 year of Minecraft can have. For example, where is it? Village Square from September of 2024. I mean, you could, compare to the map upstairs, this is a lot less decorated, right? And my hope one day is to have all these maps displayed and you can kind of follow a little time capsule and see how the Isle and the surrounding Whirlands, as I call it, have evolved. Still a project in the making. You can see just how many projects we have going on. Yeah, I think that's it for the map room. Go back outside. Just want to point out real quick, I did put a roof on the nether tower. It's not quite what I had imagined, but it's pretty close. It's satisfactory for now. May go back to it later. There's a start on the roof of the inn. It's not quite finished, as you'll see, but the upstairs is now decorated, and I do want to show you guys that. The sign now, Planner's Dream. This is the inn, baby. You, of course, remember the room, the little dance floor. Walk upstairs to your rooms where we house guests for the night. Add a couple of paintings on the wall. Let's just get right into it and show you a room complete with some beds, storage, little nightstand, also doubles down as storage, candlelit, windows, an armor stand to put your clothes, clothes, a wash basin or a toilet, whatever suits your imagination. Of course, no roof. It's still the case today. I've even labeled who's currently occupying these rooms. This is the family room. All the other ones are pretty standard, but this one has 4 beds. You have to work around the fireplace downstairs. It's going to be a chimney. That's what this is supposed to be. It's kind of ugly looking right now, but that's okay. Yeah, so little character and personality to the inn and its rooms. It's nighttime. Let's go to sleep real quick. All right. Of course, you know, travelers that are coming in and staying in for the night or whatever other story you want to make up, may be traveling by horseback, right? And even though we have a nice stables built by Andrew and Addison over here, or maybe it was just Andrew, I can't remember, I wanted to make stables, you know, right next to the inn for ease of access. So that's what we have down here, little stables. This one I did use a tutorial for. I'm not that good at building quite yet. Also just want to take a sec to show you, you know, kind of the challenges and how we were working with the land to make these things, right? Rather than just making a flat plane everywhere. For example, in my inn, you know, the ground floor is level with the square, but then where I live is down here as the ground slopes down towards the bay. Same thing over here, right? We have the train station right here, but the stables is like a whole level below it. Well, I'll grab a horse from here later. I don't know if you can see my horse's name. Nader. Please, yeah, appreciate that. I like that horse. Okay, let's keep on going down here. So, follow this path down here. Sprung up a few buildings. Sneak peeks here. I'm going to start with the wood shop. The one that came about first. This here's the wood shop. Without a roof. Go inside the wood shop. And you can kind of see I have all the different wood types and various wood blocks on display. And storage to go with it. My idea, especially as someone who hasn't played the game for 8 years, you know, I needed to kind of see all these different blocks, and you know, you can kind of come in here and look, oh, which block palette would best suit my current build, right? So I've put them all on display. You know, for example, here's the birch corner. You have all the different birch blocks and the associated storage to go with it. So this was, I loved building this. I got the support beams ready for the roof, but you know, I guess we're just gonna let the rain make our wood all soggy and gross. Next door is the masonry. Same exact idea as the wood shop, but with stone blocks, right? This roof is half complete. Whew, we're making progress. Yeah, I won't go through this too complexly. You can see all the various stone blocks and the associated chests for their storage. I kind of like doing this to keep things fresh. You know, if you just have all your blocks and your chests and your base, like, it gets boring to me. But if you actually make buildings with purposes like this, I mean, you'll never run out of ideas, and you'll keep shaping the character of whatever place you're trying to make. All right, that's the masonry. What do I got next? I do have to follow a script because I will get lost otherwise. Okay. Next, point out here the architect's office. My friend Enrique hops on occasionally, builds some things with me. He decided, oh, you know, since I'm kind of acting as a builder in this world, I should have my own, like, consultant office. I guess he's doesn't have a roof either, so this is just plaguing the Isle of Storm. Yeah, little architect's office for him to work and sleep. And then I have Terra's over here. One may guess from the name. This is the place to look at and find terracotta, similar to the wood shop and the masonry. This one is for terracotta. I have a little kind of artsy themed walk with all the different terracottas and glazed terracottas to go with it. And then of course you can go inside this little cutie building, find your resources. There's an imaginary worker behind the counter. Maybe we'll get a real one day. Upstairs too, just a nice little apartment. Might decorate a little bit more in the future. Let's take a quick walk up the terracotta walk. Right, I've labeled everything. You know, this is magenta, this is light blue, so you can find what you're looking for. Things incrementally coming along, and it's fun. It's cool. It's creating a little scene. All right, I'm gonna take a little shortcut to behind the train station right here. Hardcore parkour. Okay. And we have the task board. You may remember my task board from last time. Well, I needed to organize it a little bit more, especially because of all the ideas that I was having. So I've carved out the space behind here for a little task board. All these different tasks. I mean, you can take a second and kind of look at any that you want. All these in the middle here, this side, and this side are for anybody to take up if they want. Just kind of community task ideas. On the back side here, which I've filled out way more since, is like my own personal task board. There's no clear label for that, but those of you that now know, now you know. Alright, back into the train station. We of course have our Q line, C line, J line. I've also added a mine, as shown with this die right here, to the quarry. You need your stone blocks, right? You need a place to go. Right on down here. Okay, let's go grab a horse now while I'm next to the stables. Got supplies in here. Fence post. And a lead. Let's take these out here. Grab my horse. Nader. Show you some other things on the north side. By the way, I've now replaced the torches that were here, the fire, with redstone lamps that power on at night. You can see a couple more down the way, you know, adding to that aesthetic. I'll be adding way more lampposts around as time goes on, including some lampposts down here by the pool, right? I mean, how romantic would a nighttime session at the pool with the lamps be, right? All right, let's ride our horse up. You of course remember the boardwalk. I'm gonna tie my horse up right here. And behold, the lighthouse and the pier. Oh my gosh. I mean, how cool is this, right? Enrique and I had an idea, you know, let's kind of make, we're gonna have some shipping coming in, right? Some exports and some imports. We need a place to dock, and we need a place to kind of go out and interact with the ocean. So that's what we did. Enrique did all this, and I was like, oh, we have to have a lighthouse to go with it. So I built the lighthouse. He built this pier. You know, our idea is like, you know, we can have ships kind of come in, deliver their goods right here, and then they be transported to the center of the isle. However, it's going to evolve, right? For practical purposes, we actually have boats so that you can sail out. It's lovely. And I think this is the start of something a little bit more here on the north side of the island. Of course, had previously talked about the sloping terrain with the isle. We kind of want to make something a little bit like Cinque Terre, if you've ever seen that off the Italian coast. Displaying a picture right now so you can kind of see. Yeah, Enrique and I kind of want to, you know, make some paths, make some cool, colorful houses, kind of, you know, even though it's hilly and it's hard to work with, let's shape it. So that's a future project for sure. All right, we are mostly done here. I guess we are basically about done on the isle. I'm gonna skip ahead. Okay, we've got a thunderstorm now. I mean, how awesome is this? Freaking on the Isle of Storm. Oh, perfect mood. Let's keep going. As we head this way, you may notice this right here. This is the new Q line. Before, I'd had it coming directly out of the train station, and we went across the bay here. But I thought, man, that's a long stretch to go over. It consumes a lot of more materials. I think it makes sense to go over a much shorter section of the bridge. So the Q line comes this way, goes across the bridge, as well as this stone bridge that I built here. Let's go across. Nice and seamless. Take a moment to show that off to you. Yeah, you got the architecture there. Got to build some realism into this. I enjoy that. Yeah, this was fun to build. Keep on heading this way. This area's got a lot of future development, including what John is going to be doing. You'll see the next and last phase. That is his base, and there's a lot more to come over here. thunderstorm. Oh boy, now we gotta, oh boy. Oh boy. We're going to Ben's castle, his beautiful castle. How did I dodge all of those mobs and not get a single bit of health taken away? That's crazy. Okay. This is kind of the backside, funny enough, of Ben's castle. By the way, friend Ben hopped on. He's put in a lot of work. Let's go ahead and go inside. Oh, kind of scary. Okay. Walk up the stone walkway pathway here. Right into his castle. Lots of support beams. Some dirt. This must be from an old project. I'm actually going to go to bed real quick. Actually, I'm not. I decided I want to keep the thunderstorm theme. Oh, beautiful timing. This was the original area he had dug out. Something just got struck. Come on up here. Nice to see. Skeleton horse over there. His storage here. But what I really want to bring to your attention is the Helmont Castle Library. You can already kind of see what's going on here. Ben has disguised a slave villager trading hall as a library. Yeah, you have all these different villagers and the various enchantments that they can give you, right? How convenient. I've used the mending one once or twice. Forgot to mention here at the beginning are the various prices he's laid out for us. Something like Infinity here is going to cost you 12 emeralds. Very well done. Very, very nicely organized. You can go downstairs. It's a little more library and studious-like. There's a lot of noises going on. Sit at these tables. And then, of course, if we go on up. 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 Oh, so many villagers. We'll eventually arrive at the top of the castle. Yes, here we are. Not showing what I want to show, but yeah, I don't have any more here. I'm gonna go ahead and skip to the last part. Okay, that was kind of sick. Suppose I'll mention one additional thing as I'm writing back here. Those of you who know who have played on a Minecraft realm before know that the render distance is limited, so you can't see as far, which you need for stability. But man, you don't get this beautiful view. I mean, look at everything, right? When you're playing on the realm, you can't see this. You have to get closer, but this is part of why I'm showing this video. It looks so sick when you see all of it together. All right. Like it sincerely feels like I'm coming into a place, a town where people live, you know? Oh, I am a sucker for that kind of stuff. Alright, the last thing I want to show you before we move on to the final current iteration of this world is the Nether Highway system and the Valley Village. We of course went up this way before. We're going to do it for real this time. I was inspired to do this to get to the Mesa biome. Let's turn this baby around. I wanted to get to the Mesa biome for terracotta blocks and whatnot. So I made this ice highway. Woohoo! Built-in stop. We've arrived at our first stop, which is the one I want to show you. Valley Village. Basically Switzerland. You'll see what I mean in a sec. I'm also showing you this here because my friend Max started building something in this area. So, we're not just limited to the Isle. Ooh, come on up here. This is janky, but that's okay. Ooh, I mean, village. in the Alps. I don't know, man. It's I got here when I was exploring, and I was just like, oh, this is cool. We've got to save this. And what you may notice over here, what are these little stone pillars here? My friend Max is building a ski lift. Isn't that awesome? I'm gonna hike up this mountain real quick. Got ourselves a little mountain goat here. Kind of look down, you can see what he's going for. I can't wait to see how it turns out. There's the village. Oh, and I just want to show you the other side. Let's get up here. I mean, oh, this game is so beautiful sometimes. Okay, my game's now lagging. This is a good end of this segment, and I will be back with the current iteration of this world.